shirt. Put it back when I'm done.
It's magic.
And that's
So-
why dry cleaners hate you.
Your Guybrush Threepwood?
He might be.
I think a folding chair is the biggest thing I have in my
Can he
robe,
walk the bottom of the ocean?
Can you hold your breath for 10 minutes?
I can hold my breath indefinitely. I have a necklace of adaptation.
You are Guybrush Threepwood. Okay.
I can't play the fountain like Aaliyah could, but
Alrighty. So, let's first get the situation out of the way. You guys have been given your orders. Well, they're not so much orders as you are legally compelled to give notice to the ministry if you choose not to go through with them and have them hand the work off to someone else. But nevertheless, your orders, your papers have basically ask you to find and capture, or if all else fails, kill and bring proof of Kodak the Harrow, a dwarf who is believed to be hiding in or around the town of Harrogate. However, at the moment, you guys are just outside that office in Ketlir, where you were handed off your orders, and it is just after the dinner hour. Although out of channel, there has been some muttering about how you might go about this and what you might need to do this, but for all official purposes, you may proceed with it.
Corazon grumbles. Listen, I don't know how ye lot like doing things, but as unsubtle as I like going about combat, we're not going to be able to just teleport in and start kicking down doors after this, and a wanted dwarf knows he's a wanted dwarf. It's rather easy to tell, and if he gets a whiff, we're searching for him.
He'll vanish.
We're not finding him. He'll find the deepest, darkest hole he knows, and if we ever find him again, it'll be a bigger pain in the ass to pull him out than it is even now.
Rather avoid that.
I have a list of things I'm going to need to put together, but it might take me most of a day to build some of it.
What sorts of things?
Silenced oil, so I don't set up, if I shoot something, it doesn't fucking draw everyone from 10 miles around. Certain kinds of bullets to slow folk down. Manacles, non-lethal firearms, and that sort of thing. Signal flares.
I have experience in crafting weaponry. I may be able to assist in some way.
Alright, I'm going to need you for let's call it a spyglass.
Actually, he cannot help you with the spyglass, but he can help you with the burrowing bullet and the oil of silence and a couple other things here. He can at the very least provide you the spellcast so that you can provide the rest of the crafting.
Alright, fair enough.
What other preparations does anyone think they would need to do in the next day or so?
Beyond the typical, prepare spells and buying the spell components that I got at the end of last session, not much.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything. She'll probably just relax over the time.
Well, if you need suggestions, extra rope. I'd like you guys to donate for the manacles, but you don't have to, I suppose, just because I want this guy to not get away.
I totally donate to manacles.
The two manacles I'm getting are the mithril kind, which are the best, with superior locks. The total's gonna be like 2,600 gold for the combination of all those things. So split that 4 ways. So I don't know. At 600 gold each then. Oh, whoops, I was off by 200 alone.
Okay, so what do I need to have prepared to help craft some of these things?
You need, let's see here. You need
650, that's it.
You'll need to prepare silence and symbol of stunning.
Okay. Since I assume we're staying in town for an extra day, that should not be an issue.
Aye. Yeah, with considering how much I have to build, I'm also going to want to enchant a weapon while I'm here, if I have money left over. I don't know yet, though.
Okay, well,
Depending on what you want, I can also do that.
if we're going to be here for another day, I'm going to cast Mage's Magnificent Mansion and sneak down to my study to begin research.
On the thing that we don't know about, because evil. Mwahaha.
Alrighty.
High stealth check and an invisibility ring, that looks just like I'm teleporting around like I always do.
You sneaky person.
He is. But we don't suspect him of anything. We have no reason to, so...
Nope.
Of course.
I'm completely on the up and up.
Also, what
Bullshit.
is the components required for the far-reaching sight?
I don't know, spyglass.
Yes.
You guys may stay in my mansion, but my study is off limits.
I do hope you'd be putting that somewhere where
Because I'm
it's
sure
not
I
like...
have more evil stuff down there.
Yeah. Yeah,
So that's
he
where you keep
can't
the skull
help you
candles.
with the sight. And you only need yourself for all of the bullets. The only thing is, could you please make me a craft firearms check?
$38. Gunsmithy covers all kinds of firearms.
Yep.
Hey, betrayal's just a thing that happens. Plus, if I get what I want, none of this will matter.
That bodes well, thank you.
While you're doing that research, would you mind making me a yes, this would be a knowledge arcana check.
Woohoo!
Well, I cannot have the right spells prepared until get to repair spells again.
There'll be other things I need to be doing, and we can always go eat.
Food
I'm
would
eating
be
enough
nice.
food for a dozen people per caster level.
You are fat.
We might as well go to his mansion. If
Magic
he's got
food
much
or no magic food, you are the fat. Aye, it's free food, might as well.
Yeah, you may stay in my mansion. There's rooms upstairs. My study is off limits. I have very, I have very delicate experiments going on.
Fair
Understood.
terms. I'll
Fair
take you
enough.
up on that.
And there's apparently a painting I'm doing in the middle. Oh, that's nice.
Loading, loading.
The black abyss of the loading plane.
I have a whole one bedroom.
Hooray!
This will make sleeping awkward.
Aye, I'll be sleeping in an inn, thank you very much.
Well, there is more to it than this, but this is the best I could do with the palette of beautiful interior tiles.
Right.
Yeah, there's. Well, you could at least put some stairs somewhere leading up to the bedrooms that are there, but we don't really need to see.
Just a second.
I got the nice master bedroom there. Trying to figure out which room's a room full of junk and which one's supposed to be my study.
Study's the one at the very bottom there. Yep.
Okay, cool.
I heard someone mention they needed a magic weapon.
That'd be me. I mean, it depends on how many funds I have after all this stuff, but I'm thinking about enchanting me old musket. Make her lucky.
Depending on how much you want, it would take some time.
Just the basics. It's a +2, essentially. Basically, it's a +1 with a lucky enchantment. Very, very simple. But I need to know how much money I have left before I do that.
Yep. I'm just working that out while you guys fan out and frivol.
But that would take
delicious
8
pork.
days. Because with the craft magic arms and armor, it's a day per 1,000 gold pieces.
Okay, that'd take a while then.
Yeah.
Yep.
Might want to skip that one.
Hal, I'm just gonna have my bonded item cast this today, so it's a free cast. Woo. Yeah, I'd do that every day if I didn't want to make sure I can cast this every day and wanted to have my bonded item open for Hellfire Ray if anything falls below the HP where it can kill it.
Mm-hmm.
Make a will save or go to hell.
Okay, so the burrowing bullet, you can make that in a day and a half,
Alright.
and that'll chop the price of that in half. So that will help.
Always good.
It's a good thing you had a reasonable level cleric in the group.
Alright.
Okay, so that makes the total cost of this lot.
Just can't actually start the magical crafting until tomorrow after.
So
Half the
for
spell.
the manacles and the locks, you can reduce that to 650 per person because it calculated like the total cost for the locks and the manacles and the feathers comes out to 650 per person in the party. Total cost. Yep. So that's for everyone to use and nail a guy with apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, there's no way to like shoot them out of my gun, but whatever.
Yeah, you're going to have to buy the ammunition you want from a local craftsman, unless you want to spend another probably about 3 days.
No, I'm fine with buying it from a guy who just has it. Like I said, the crafting's only there in case it's like either really quick or something that they don't have available.
Yep. Oh, by the way, these numbers you've given me, those are total, not per unit, right?
Oh yeah, total. Definitely total. There's no way it's
Okay.
240 gold per unit of like fucking no. Christ, that make a tingling shot.
You know, I'm afraid.
Well, I ask only because you didn't multiply the superior lock price by 2.
Must have missed that one. My mistake.
You quoted 300 for the superior lock.
Yeah, I did it with all the other ones. I must have just missed that one. I must have gone back and realized, oh right, I have 2 sets of like manacles and feathers.
You know, I'm sort of afraid to ask this, but where did I get the treasure chest made out of a brain?
Well, you gotta do something with the brain part and the really big monsters, and that was your idea.
I totally didn't notice that was the texture of that.
That
thing.
is a really weird chest.
And then maybe it's not brain, it could just be organs, like your large intestines.
Could just be made to look like it.
That too, just to creep people the fuck out.
I'm more wondering what creature keeps their brain in their chest that you made it from.
You're funny.
I also like the bowl of steaks I have sitting around.
Have you seen
In
this fucking
case.
pile?
What other spells might I need to hold down someone like this? There's Hold Monster, there's Geas.
I'm gonna throw this out here. He's a dwarf. He's gonna have an easier time resisting spells than, say, a human would.
True.
That's why a lot of the stuff I picked up is mundane, relatively speaking, or either that or it gets no save involved.
Well, Geas has no save.
Right.
That makes it mean.
So that's enough to at least enchant my musket with a +1, just so it's a little more reliable. Should I bother?
It's up to you.
He might have resistance, like, if he does have DR, the easiest DR to get is magic DR, so I'll go ahead and just spend 2,000 to get to a +1 musket, just to get around that possibility.
Okay. Actually, I just noticed I forgot your coat pistol.
Oh, okay, I'll wait.
There you go.
Still have enough.
Yep.
Alright, so I'll
Okay,
have just
so
+1 musket.
I'll-
Just minus 2,000, it's literally a flat number.
Now I could do that. It'd take 2 days.
I don't know. You could find someone in a busy military city like Ketlir. You could find someone to commission a small enchantment like that by tomorrow evening.
Pray.
Right.
Well, the good news if we do need to look around to gather information is diplomacy. I probably have the highest diplomacy check in the party.
Probably.
Probably.
Mine's only 11.
Plus 34.
Yeah. I think you've got that one a bit locked up.
I have a trait that makes it int based.
Damn, I'm close, but you got me beat.
Actually, being close is almost as good as like being equal or beating, just because like a difference of 3 or
'Cause
so
luck.
means you both have a really good chance of getting whatever it is figured out. Like, oh, I
Yeah.
rolled a 2. Well, I rolled 18.
Mine's
man.
5 difference. I'm up at 29.
Still
I
not that
have a
huge.
trait that I have one trait that makes it int based, and another one that gives me a +1 and makes it a class skill.
Yay.
Okay, going to eat, and then going to pray to prepare spells and go to bed.
That's in case I decide to summon a devil.
Going to switch out what I'd already prepared at the end of last session for the right spells to craft things. And there we are. If I disconnected?
Alright,
Not that I was aware.
I,
no, no.
I can hear you.
I thought I might have since everything's blinking, but nope.
We're all doomed.
Pretty much. But he is doomed far more than any of us.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right.
Moving on to the next day.
Lindal, are you the sort to not keep a clock because it can do nothing but distract you?
Sorry?
Are you the sort who would not keep a clock because it could only distract you?
No, I'd have a clock somewhere. Not in my study, but
A great-grandfather clock in the hall tomes out the morning hour sometime later.
I get up, and assuming everything is ready to go, I'm gonna go over the plan with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Still need to craft things, don't we?
You
Well,
do.
If we do, we do that.
You also have available. You also can locate easily enough, or even borrow from the university, a simple map of Harrogath. It is something that would be easily found in any public records.
Old maps. We get that. Get the files that we already have.
let's go into the South Market and start plane shifting people.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
We're there to find one person, and we need a way to get and find him. Personally, once I'm finished crafting here, I've got a couple ideas. Well, the first one says we're not teleporting right in the middle of town. We're teleporting at least a couple miles out of town and riding in properly. Speaking of, before I forget, I do need to get a big travel-worn Formulus cloak, if I could. I don't know how much they charge for those, so I didn't write it down.
Sorry, you need what?
A big Volumulus. Am I saying that right?
Voluminous.
Thank you.
With
Cloak.
great volume.
And it has to be travel-worn. It looks like I've used it a while. I want a second-hand one. Deliberately.
Yep.
So you're gonna pop some tags because you only got 20 gold in your pocket?
Yes. Yes, I am.
I hope it's pink.
I'm aiming for brown, but whatever.
A decent
Whoops.
a decent traveler's outfit would cost you 10 GP.
I don't
Sorry,
need an outfit. I just need a bloody cloak, but whatever.
Sorry, had a typo.
And it needs to be secondhand, so
All
I don't
right.
want a new one. I deliberately don't want a new one.
You want a well-lived-in cloak.
Yes.
That'll be 2 GP.
Okay. 2 GP it is. I mean, it's like this big, bulky one, because you get a bonus on sleight of hand hiding stuff in one of those, so there you go.
For changing our appearance, I have cleric's vestments.
I don't want to change my appearance. I want it to be easier to hide a certain gun I picked up, or a rather.
Although changing appearance might be a good idea to begin with. I don't want to stand out, at least.
Yeah, something you could a bag you could put your helmet in, and something you could wear over the armor might help you go less noticed.
Yeah, you might
Well, I
want to change.
assume the helmet would fit in a haversack.
Yes.
And like I said, cleric's vestments.
Yeah, good
Right
luck
up.
going around unnoticed with me.
I might not be traveling with you.
Hey, look, it's that dirty peasant traveling with that guy wearing the expensive clothes and the 300 gold worth of jewelry.
It does get some attention.
A little teeny bit.
Just slightly.
So let's see here. Fulton is going to go incognito with some slightly more formal wear. Gurauzen is going to put on a heavy winter cloak that he's going to strip some of the stuffing out of so that it doesn't quite get so hot in there. Shenalar already has some concealing robes that she usually goes about in.
Yeah, she should be fine.
I don't care if you're not
Oh,
trying to
he
be subtle. Subtlety isn't the point here. It's to not look like we're a bunch of fucking detectives coming in to kick down his fucking door.
Well,
Yep.
you already don't look that. Not right now, anyway.
Yeah,
I know,
I
but
don't.
like, we're not supposed to go in as a group as lad. Yeah, I think we're going to go in two at a time as like two separate parties almost.
In any case, while we're planning, bring me the bullets I need to enchant.
I basically going to show you a bunch of slugs.
Oh yeah, I forgot to ever mention this, but to the untrained person, I'd look like a high-class follower of the goddess Elseta, because I wear a shit ton of jewelry that consists of a whole bunch of gold chains, an earring, and a bracelet, and a silver hairpin that all bear her symbol.
Mm-hmm.
And
high class priest.
other than that, I'm pretty much wearing what my portrait shows me to be wearing.
You could totally go with just a high class priest. I'm just trying to determine which group is going to be what. I'm thinking me and she are going to go as one group. Which, yeah, I know it like is automatically like screaming in your heads out of character. Oh god, the dwarf and the drow, everyone's going to die. But I don't know that, so
Everyone
it
is
just makes
dead.
sense. It makes sense because we're both look much more subtle than like the obvious priest and the obvious cleric.
Plus, it's a disaster waiting to happen, which adds a bonus to it.
Exactly, both parties are disasters waiting to happen. It's lovely.
Yeah.
Just for anybody who didn't get the joke, Alceta is the goddess of years.
What, you're an old lady?
Yep. No.
Yeah.
That scepter was nearly in my grasp.
Yeah.
And those fuckers screwed everything up.
She's one of the few gods you can say is a god of time, since time is split amongst a whole bunch of different gods in the Galarian pantheon.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So there
I've
is
got
a Ghost of Christmas Past, and a Ghost of Christmas Future, and a Ghost of Christmas Present, then?
Yeah. Your component to the crafting of these bullets is simple enough. All you need to do is provide the casting of the spell while Gorzin assembles the thing. So don't need a craft check.
Yes, I think you only mentioned there was one bullet I could really do, though.
Yes,
The Greater Borrower.
that bullet is what he's working on. Is what he's going to be spending today and a couple hours tomorrow working on.
I'm gonna... I don't know how to describe it, but it looks fucking horrifying as bullets go. It looks like something that if it gets stuck in you, it is never coming out ever. If you want to know what a burrowing bullet does,
I just looked it up.
yeah, it's
Yep.
fucking... It's not nice.
Ugh. Yeah, okay. Right, well, I have the Symbol of Stunning ready.
Alright, just apply it once I get to the point where it starts looking more like knives attached to a piece of lead than it does like a bullet.
And try not to get my fingers.
Because that would suck.
I'll keep that in mind.
The best description I have is it's like a spiral, but there's like tiny, like almost shark teeth pointing opposite the direction that the point is. So it basically twist into you, and if you try and like tug it out, the tiny like shards get stuck and tear more.
So your bullet is the bullet that will pierce the heavens?
Yes.
Dear.
That's what I'm naming it. This bullet is now Heaven Piercer.
Spiral bullet.
So the earliest you guys will be able to head for the city is tomorrow after the lunch hour.
I still say we teleport outside the city entirely. Like, possibly if I'm using this map here, that general area, one group heading to the Dwarven Settlement, the other one heading to Mantella and Orchards, maybe. Then going from there to the actual city. And we'll just basically split the city in two. One half handles one side of the river, one half handles the other.
Means we should look at the people we need to talk to.
If we need this place to meet, though, we might want to pick up a spot along the river, but that's dangerous. Actually, this is perfect since it's the exact middle. If we can find any kind of safe house, like we're in, where we just happen to run into each other, finger quotes, it's going to be along this line.
I should point out the scale of this map. If you turn on the grid or switch over to the measuring tool, you will notice that this is a hex map.
Indeed it is.
Each hex is 100 feet from between the two opposing sides. This city is along the... If you go along the Serpent Road, which runs from the White Armory past the Grey and the Black to the South Gate, that is just over a 2.5 mile walk.
Not excessively huge, but big enough.
Yeah, only the major roads are marked here. There are also many smaller roads and alleys that trace all over the place.
Okay.
Okay, that makes sense. It's not excessively expansive. We should still try and find a thing somewhere along that area where we accidentally meet up and use this as a base of operations, because, like I said, we're trying to split this into two separate groups, because if we go as one big group, it's just too suspicious, especially with how different we look. Not that my character knows that his partner is going to be a freaking drow, but whatever. He just thinks it's a very reclusive fucking human with bad burns, but...
Dirty drow.
How dare you? She's very clean.
I don't know how long the hell are those bandages.
Clean but still repulsive drow.
Well, considering that 3 of you know what soap is and Gorzin would know what shampoo is, party's pretty even on that regard.
Yeah.
It's the digitation, baby.
We
I just
have
tend to
have
smell like
that
gunpowder because of my duty, you know. I have a
Yes.
job that involves gunpowder.
And gunpowder smells like sulfur.
Sulfur does not smell fun.
No one will listen to my preachings or the teachings of Ayamede if I smell disgusting.
Ooh.
I'm lucky
I
I
will
can still
listen
hear.
to them anyway.
Thank goodness for
Alright.
magical healing, or I'd be deaf.
So, actually, dividing the group in that particular way almost works very well for you, because you guys do have one teleport voucher from the university, and well, Lindahl could probably take care of himself.
Could just... Well,
Just
I think we just
out
use that
into-
one.
Out into
There,
empty
and then-
farmland north of the city.
Yeah, where no one will see us arrive as a group, and then we just separate into two separate groups, one heading towards the mountain orchard, the other one towards the dwarven settlements. Most likely Gore's and going towards the dwarven one, because then it makes sense that he's stopping by before he goes to the city proper. As to the other group, make up a reason. You wanted fruit. I don't know.
Alrighty.
Actually, what's north
just-
of here, besides wilderness?
North of here is, if you're not following either of the rivers, is wilderness, and then a mountain range.
Anyone live in the mountains?
There's a monastery. Let's see here, about 20 miles to the due west, the Temple of Final Repose. You may have heard of it.
The wilderness, what's its common animal troubles? Like, is there anything in there that's like a problem? Like a well-known problem, like there be trolls in that there river.
North of the Ongi, it's mostly just the typical wildlife you expect: wolves and bears. But south of the east of the Ongi, pardon, you're not that far from the Scarred Neck. All kinds of things come wandering out of the wilderness and terrorize the populace.
Okay, for my half of it, considering I look like a hunter, considering my musket's going to be my most obvious weapon, I'm actually going to put my blunderbuss in my handy haversack. I'm going to say I was hunting shit in the woods. That's why I was coming from that direction. Not
Sure.
wanting to go and kill something
Okay,
just to prove the fucking point.
Yeah, I forgot to switch it out, but since I knew I was going to be teleporting today, I would have prepared Greater Teleport, so I'm just going to cast this Summon Monster 7 for it.
No problem.
As to, let's see, my companion helps me hunt, easy. But she's really good tracker, uses magic and stuff. It's not cheating, there's magic monsters in there. As to you two, considering there's a monastery in that direction, you could just be pilgrims who take an unusual path, believing there might be, religious stuff in the woods. I don't know. Just make sure you have some sort of story as to why you came from not off the road directly. The less attention we draw, the less chance you'll hear of us, the higher the chance we catch him off guard, the better chance we can just pop him in the head and run off with him.
Head to the mental and orchard and
My motives are my own.
travelers.
Plus,
Okay, that's
ranks
just going to
and
make people
buff.
curious as fuck. And if you want to say that, I'm not going to stop you. I'm just saying people get curious over dumb things like that.
Yep.
I have no ranks and
Lindell,
bluff. I can't lie to people.
It's not lying, it's just telling them a thing, and then if they sense motive you, yeah, then, but even then, they're not going to get the whole story. They're going to be like, he's hiding something.
Lindell, you need at least a reliable description of the place to whence you are teleporting.
You gave me a map.
So, there.
Alrighty.
I mean, yeah, we could be
Reliable
off by like a couple
description
miles, but at
based
the
on
worst...
Based on a colored ink map coming up.
We aren't teleporting just yet, anyway. They still need
I
to
know,
cast
and
this
he's not,
stuff.
does he have to teleport us, or can we use the ticket? Like, does the ticket let us go that, like, exact? Do we have
You
to go
two
with
are
it?
using the ticket. You two are using the ticket. I'm teleporting.
Yeah, well, in that case, we could just, like, you could get it much closer to where we need to be. I don't know if the ticket will let us do that, but we'll see.
Well, you'd have to go ask the transit officer who would be conducting you.
I would fully do so.
Is Bombard finished making this spiral bullet yet?
Yes, we're on to the next day. Bombard is
Go ahead and burn those then.
finishing up his bullet in the next hour. And
I
it
can't-
is what day is that? It is here we go. It is Thursday, the 7th of June, 5:36 EI.
Hold up. 2 of my spell preps that I changed didn't stick. Just a sec.
Du-du-du-du-du-du.
I mean, I'm not obviously, like... My advantage is that I'm not, like, this big, showy, obviously. I am a cleric and or priest. You two are kind of stuck with that one, which works as a disguise, to be honest, because only one of you is actually a cleric, and as long as you don't obviously scream Shellen's name every 2 seconds, you should be good.
Says the dwarf whose fingernails are yellowed and blackened by the dust and the metal shavings of the bullet he's just spent the last day and a half carefully assembling with a pair of tweezers.
Hey, I'm going as a hunter who uses a musket, not a blunderbuss. How the fuck are they gonna tell?
Look at me, everybody. I'm evil.
Nobody knows.
Until we crank out the very first paladin who's gonna twist his head halfway around his neck as soon as he sees him.
His alignment can't be detected. You
Ring of
mentioned it
Mind
before.
Shielding. I'm immune to any attempt to magically discern my alignment.
Would he know you're immune? Or would you detect as nothing? I'm confused on that subject.
If somebody casts a thing that can see all alignments, I come up as nothing.
Well, then that already is suspicious.
No, there are other reasons to fail detection.
Fair enough.
If you're true
Anyway.
neutral, you won't come up either.
Oh, good to know.
So, yes, you go with your ticket to one of the various transit locations near or in the university. Doesn't matter.
I
for
bombard
purposes
as
here.
we approach. I make sure to pick up my horse to go with us, because how the
Yep.
fuck else do we get around?
Oh, I assume this is
Yes.
after we finished crafting everything.
Yes.
There was also those oils of silence, right?
Yes, but it would have taken him another day and a half to make those as well.
Ah, okay.
So I just purchased a couple, no big deal.
Alright.
That's for when I have to snipe someone with a musket, you know.
Oh,
I like
just
it not
random
going to
thing.
jail.
Could you let me
Mind
know
you,
when
if
it
you-
hits August in-game?
Will do.
That month is a little important to followers of Mayday.
Yeah, that's so.
I forgot to roll a birth date. Just a second. January.
I don't think mine would even know hers.
It's plausible.
3rd. January 3rd.
Neither would mine, actually.
Well, I think Gora's gonna know his, so may as well. November 4th. Okay, so that's when Gora's in. As to what year, he's like 60 something.
You just
We
have to
never-
know when to count up the next year.
Yeah, Gora's in 67 because gunslingers take a little longer than like instinctive stuff. So you have to train.
So just
I'm
to
only
recap,
28.
Yep.
Just to recap, we're splitting up.
Mostly
each
to see
taking-
less suspicious. We will
Yes.
regroup. It's just like
Are we
the initial-
regrouping the moment we get into the city?
The goal is, what we're going to try and do is we're both going to come in from two opposite ends,
Yeah, I got that much.
essentially in that center area if possible. Like just look for an inn there and try. Like we know what each other looks like, so it shouldn't be that hard. Might take part of a day, but we'll find each other. We'll just accidentally run in. All of us happen to have a room in there, and then we'll just meet.
Okay.
I might as well covertly try to gather some information while we're making our way there too.
Oh yeah, that's the point. Yeah, we're gonna like get some rumor mongering going from, like I said, from the orchard on your end and the dwarven settlements on mine. Just because I'm a dwarf and well, I can explain myself rather easily to them. Hi, I'm Gorzin. I was just hunting in the fucking woods with my musket. This is my companion.
Come on,
She carries
talk
my
to
shit.
me.
So you arrived
You
at the
can talk-
transit office, and you ask about travel to Harrogath.
Alright, but we want to travel somewhere a little north of there, just a mile or 2, 3, maybe 4.
Mage there consults his maps. I'm afraid we don't have much for such a frontier town like that. I'm afraid I only have 2 destinations in the area where I can relay you.
Listening.
There is Maspracht Bend, a trading post just south of the city.
Alright.
Or there is our office in the Marble Quarter within the city.
Looks like we're heading to Masprat then. Got to retool my story a little, but that'll be perfect. You can teleport us there, me and my companion. I gestured to she.
Very well. Please take your position.
I move my horse in a position with me on it.
She goes and just stands there.
And with surprising little drama, you find yourselves blinking in the noonday sun in a very busy, just outside of a very busy farmer's market. There's a stone podium here just between a pair of buildings that's clearly meant to be an arrivals point, and a sign that says, "Please step clear quickly."
I definitely get clear quickly on my stone horse.
This market is very busy, and it's kind of weird that everyone trades very large amounts, and you notice that things don't go into individuals' arms or purses. Everywhere there's a sale around you, things are simply being moved from one cart to another, or onto a big staging pile of goods of the same sort. Looks to be more like a giant sorting office than a real market of any significance.
Right. So this would be the place where you get notes in case there's any large supplies of something unusual being moved around. Suppose we can take a moment to see about that. How would I go about doing that? If you have any thoughts, She, go ahead and throw them.
First time I've seen something like this, to be honest.
Our best bet is to, honestly, try and speak to the officials just to see what's been moved around recently. That sort of thing is and is not public. Like some of it's public stuff for sake of knowing, but some of it's not because it's private dealing. So we'll just see what is public. So in that case, we'll go to the primary office, I suppose, of whoever ships 90% of this crap.
All right.
There's probably a barge or something to that nature. I wouldn't know though.
Just a moment. Linda.
Always a major shipper. Oh, sorry, go on.
Lindahl, you and Fulton leave your manor and mansion and close it up behind you, and make ready to transit to the city. You study the map, try and guess what sort of landmarks you might use for arrival. And...
Of course, I have no idea where Lindahl's trying to teleport. Exactly, that is.
You speak the proper incantation and find yourselves standing beside a riverbank in the wilds. There's no sign of any buildings or even farmland around you. The rolling plains stretch in every direction.
Is this where we're meant to be taken, Lindahl?
Sorry, I got sort of dazed out there. What's going on? Sorry.
You conducted your teleport, and you have arrived beside a riverbank, somewhere in the rolling plains. There's no sign of farms or houses anywhere near.
Is this where we're meant to be taken to?
According to the information they gave me.
Oh. Okay, let's take a look around. Just looking around for anything.
I'm going to fly up into the air and see if I can see the place.
You can see that there's a tall tower somewhere off to the southwest. You do know of Harrogath's watchtower that stands high above the city. That's probably it.
Do you have any way to fly?
Just a moment.
How far away is it? I can roll a knowledge geo if you need me to.
Yeah, please do.
I got a 1.
Always fun.
You trace out
Good thing they don't crit fail.
You trace out the path of the river Ongi in your memory, and you figure out that you're about 12 miles out from the city.
I do not have a method of flying at the moment. All of my magic is focused on the other goals.
How long will it take to fly there at a speed of 60 feet? You can hustle at, I think, 120 at that speed.
Let's see here.
If you got good con, you can full run the whole way at fly speed.
At 120 feet per, it'll take you just over 90 minutes.
Let me check on something. Good. This is why I leave level 1 slots open. I'm going to float back down to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Just looking something up. Awesome. Okay. I'm going to float back down to the ground. Turn to my companion. Give me 2 minutes. And I'm going to pull out my spellbook and start preparing. I'm going to prepare Mount in 2 of my unused first level slots.
Alrighty.
Very well.
Good old opposition schools.
It's Conjuration Summoning.
Summons you a light horse or pony.
I have 1 unused slot left for the day.
Okay.
No real way to track that, unfortunately. I suppose I could just write unused in them.
Mm-hmm.
I'll remember that for next prep time. Okay, so I'm going to spend 2 minutes prepping those, then I'm going to summon 2 mounts, and we're going to ride into town.
Sounds good. Besides, with your appearance, you look like you should have some way of coming into town without walking in from the wilds.
Most likely, yes.
Okay.
That's for 2 hours per level.
So they're going to hang around a while.
34 hours of mounts.
Oh God!
Just pretend they're real horses and don't say anything.
Just don't sell them, please.
Start selling my horses. You know, I'm evil. I can do it.
And you get found out and fucking hung.
Goodison, Shinalar.
Aye.
You two try and look about for some main office. This
Shipping
looks
or
like
something.
it looks like a pretty ad hoc affair. There's people constantly arriving and leaving with carts. There's people writing out bills of sale, but people just walk away with them, or farmers bring in carts full of food, drop them off, get handed a pay slip, and then leave.
Way too much
even
bureaucracy
taking their
going on
cart.
for them not to have some place they're bringing these bills of sale. They have to bring them somewhere at some point. Is there anyone who's obviously like carrying a large supply of papers that look like bills of sale to any kind of building?
No, it doesn't look like it. I mean, here and there you can see that there's people who have a hired scribe because they don't have, presumably because they don't have penmanship or literacy themselves.
I'll just inquire to someone who looks patient, I suppose I'd call him, and ask him, hold on, I need to word this right.
But ho, Master Dwarf.
Hi, good to be see you. I'd be curious, is there any particular place I need to be dropping off me bills of sale? I'd be looking to get into, the local market, and, well, being foreign, it's all very strange to me. So I'd just be wondering, also this hustle and bustle without any kind of proper, bill of sale repository.
First time in Masbrick Bend, eh?
Aye, we're from the far south. I did some hunting up north, but then we got lost, and she over the year did something wrong with the horse, and well, now we're here. Long story. I tell you it over an ale, but, well, I gotta get into things first.
Well, this is Masbrick Bend. There's the Lord, the Baron, here in Harrogate. he charges a fairly high fine for people who bring in goods that are not properly sorted. It's a busy town, and they try to keep the walls really tight. So there's a lot of worry about the roads being too heavily walked. So to keep the traffic down, instead of people coming in with their carts and going every which direction trying to sell their goods, they waive a good portion of the import tax if you bring in properly documented and properly sorted goods. So here in Mossbrook Bend, everyone sells their goods to vendors of all the same kind. Saves a lot of traffic.
So you'd be saying that fellers with, say, the farmers come in here with their goods, sell it to the local folk, and they sell it themselves.
Aye.
So the transfer of funds. And, hold on. Sorry, dog detects people walking outside. He has to go bark at them.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, so you'd be saying that each individual folk have their own bill of sale, so there's no place they put them all. They simply carry them for their own record keeping.
Oh yeah. The farmers come in, they sell their goods to the grocers, and the grocers take them into the markets in town.
And from there, it's presumed their bills of sale are sent up to the castle proper.
Oh no, these bills you see people walking about with, that's because most everything, well, the farmers' goods, that's all just traded hands immediately, but most everything else is sold by commission in town. So that's the proof of, who owes who money after an item's actually sold in the town.
I'm getting you. That's be a clever way. Saves a lot of unnecessary flipping about and not as much traffic on the roads. Very clever. Thank you for your time. I give him like a gold piece.
Good day.
Day to ye. And I turn to she as I guess I trot away on my horse and she walks. Right, so there's no way we're going to be able to find any direct information from this. Those are all personal repositories. So if you want to start nicking their stuff, there's no way we can look at it. However, them keeping notes like that does mean if we get a clue as to any kind of shifty stuff being moved around, we just got to find the supplier and he'll have the note trail we need. So as long as we get a clue, it shouldn't be that hard to follow up on it. So let's get to town proper, shall we? Unless you have an idea of yours.
No, it does not seem like this place would have much for us.
Yeah, then on the road up north we go. Hopefully we can make it to the northern part of the city before they have to wait around too damn long.
The road outside Mossbrook Bend. Yeah, that makes sense. The road outside Mossbrook Bend runs north and south following the Ongi River's shores. The town walls and watchtower are clearly visible, only about 6, maybe 800 feet away outside the north end of Mossbrook Bend.
Well, assuming they don't stop us at the gate, we just keep going until we reach that section. We know we just need to head north until we get to basically the only other crossing, the fork, essentially.
Mm-hmm. You reach the front gate, and you can see that that everyone who brings a cart up is waved to one side of the road, and everyone else is waved to the other.
I want a stone horse. Which direction do they wave me?
They wave you towards the pedestrians. You don't have a cart.
Fair enough. Right then, I just stare at the pedestrians. I make sure she is with me. I mean, I'm not that tall, so it's not like I'm looming.
No, she's following.
A guard notices that you're coming in with a horse and waves you over to him directly. Good ho!
Good morning to you, or evening rather.
It's getting on. I'm afraid, Master Dwarf, that horses are only allowed in the city stables.
If you could direct me to it, I will be pointing out that this is technically just a lump of rock looked like a horse. So it's not going to be defecating all over your fine city, if you get me meaning.
He looks quite confused and nevertheless turns slowly. You'll find the stables across from the Black Armory, the first big building on your right. On the left, you can't miss them.
Fair enough. I'll drop me steed off out there then. Thank you for your warning.
And another warning: you'll want to keep those. You want to keep that musket there well holstered. The city guards are a bit itchy about that sort of thing.
No, I wouldn't draw this thing within city bounds.
Very good.
You want to roll a
Carry
bluff
on.
check on that, because that is bullshit. I am so going to have to draw this within city bounds.
Go ahead. What, me? Shoot guns inside city limits? Never.
No, I'm way good a person for that.
And this gun is just decorative.
There's a 14 for you.
At least when I say my rapier is decorative, it's technically true.
Yeah, no. I'm going to have to shoot this thing at some point.
And
I don't know
of
if you
course,
believe it or not.
and of course, with his +7, he rolls a 13.
He totally believes I have no intention of shooting this thing ever. Awesome.
You're just so
Carry on.
trustworthy.
Good day, lad. And head inside.
You know, if you want to go without being noticed, maybe we should have left the horse behind.
Well, how the hell else do I get around? Think on it, lass. How else does a short-limbed dwarf get around? We're known for our
Get
long
you a
marching
pony.
eye, but it's going to take us the next 10 centuries to get anywhere if we have to march there. How ye get around is my excuse of you summon a horse. You're magic, I assume you can, so you probably can on command if you wanted to, so if anyone asks, you summon one. I just use listen. Simple, eh?
Suppose.
Alrighty.
I would go to the Black Armory and drop off my horse then. I didn't know if they'd charge me for space or whatever. I will point out it doesn't need to be fed, so...
There is a very large assembly of stables here, and it's pretty obvious that they're not just here for private. It's not just for private citizens here. A whole half of the stables is dedicated to some very well-groomed horses, and every single one of them has a large kit of armor hanging on the wall beside it. It's pretty clear this city keeps a well-stocked cavalry.
Aye. Good horses, then. Heavy war horses or light war horses? It's pretty obvious which is which.
Light.
Alright, so they don't have heavy cavalry, let's call it. Anyway, yes, I will go find a stable hand if one's available and wave them over.
Able to quickly negotiate a staying fee.
For an indefinite period of time, and he doesn't need to be fed, so it's not like they're going to worry about that. Just have a stable for him. Feeding, like cleaning, all that's completely unnecessary. It's a rock.
Stable hand doubting you at first, helps you walk him to an empty place at the very back of the stable. Stares in awe and slight terror as he turns into a statue and takes
No, it's
down
never not a statue. It's literally a statue that moves like a horse until I decide to say, "Hey, stay still for a while." Then it just looks like a statue. It's like a gargoyle almost.
Could have just been an odd color.
Okay, you're blind.
And
It makes grinding sounds when it moves really fast.
he takes your name so you can claim your horse later.
Goderson. Thank you kindly. And give him a small salute, and I guess we have to walk the rest of the way. Yeah, we're probably not going to stop unless something happens, because we kind of want to meet up, so... Unless you have something to do, sorry.
She's just given up on correcting him.
I'm just calling you she now. Is that so wrong?
Meanwhile, Fulton and Lindahl have come to a fork in the the rough dirt path that serves as a road. It's obviously frequently traversed by farmers' wagons. By this point along, they've passed several farming communities and steads, and they reach a fork where there's only one sign. Doesn't have an arrow or anything, but it has a brief word in Dwarven.
I speak Dwarven.
The brief word is farms.
I think we've entered the farms.
That what the sign says?
Yes.
If it's in Dwarven, I'm not sure we could get much information here.
From your map, you recall that the Dwarven settlements are down a road off away from the city. It's probably that road.
You may speak and read Dwarven, but I'm not entirely sure they would help us in any way.
If only I bought that greater hat of disguise so I could become a dwarf.
We simply need to come back here with Sir Gravelgrin.
Indeed. Let us continue towards the city.
While we're traveling, I'm going to make sure to pull out my very large and detailed holy text of the Acts of Iamede. Be carrying that.
Already.
You're not going to bore me with this crap, are you?
If he is reading, he'd be reading it to himself.
And then he did spake, bring me 15 horses, 2 virgins.
Kagale.
Yes, the only prayer I ever say is, Dear Elsetta, I'm gonna fuck you over good.
Why have you not been smiting me yet, exactly? I think by now it would have happened.
Shinalar and Gorazin pass by as they leave from the Black Armory, a very large garrison at the south end of the city. They reach one of the major bridges that goes over, and there's lots to see. The city is quite bustling. Quite
Oh yes, there's
full.
loads to see. So many crotches, so little time.
Granted, from one of your height, the view is restricted to things that can be seen over passing shoulders or between passing feet. But
This is why I wanted to ride my horse.
there is the South Market, which is a big field with lots of galleries of permanent shacks where merchants can rent out places to sell their wares.
Right. I already have everything I need, so keep moving. She wanted, like I said, she speak up at any point if you want to stop.
I'm fine.
Your destination remains the North Shore?
Alright, we're heading towards the literal pass across the bridge at the fork. So, yeah. Wait until we see a fork, then across, and then we'll go from there.
Yep. You pass by the Grey Armory.
Is it slightly less depression than the Black Armory?
The only difference between the buildings, in fact, only seems to be the color of pennant that flies on the front walls. The design of the building seems identical from the outside.
It was all built at once, then.
That or they're simply not very creative.
Yeah, there's that.
And you reach the other major bridge across the Seleve, which's corner is mostly taken up by a very large and very old-looking temple to Desna.
Well, I don't worship her. Moving on. I'll pay respects at some point, but we gotta get somewhere quickly.
Meanwhile, Fulton, Lindahl, you approach the east gate There's not much traffic here as at the south. Only a few only a few poultry farms bring their goods to this side of the city. Much fewer people live to the east of the city than to the south. And there's some very tired-looking guards, or they're not standing on guard; they're sitting on guard, looking out across the across the plains, but clearly at rest.
I'll assume they at least look up as we approach.
Oh yeah, they watch you approach. Other than a farmer's cart passing you the other way 2 minutes ago, you're the only people on this road at the moment. One of the guards offhandedly just shouts over to you. You'll have to stable your horses inside the gate. You'll see the stable.
Understood, good man.
I whisper over. Watch some acting. As you wish, good sir.
Blink.
For some reason,
check.
Gorson pipes up. For some reason, I have an incredible urge to facepalm. I don't know why.
I feel that as well.
Just inside the gate, you guys see a very large garrison building with with huge red pennants hanging on the front of it, and across from it is a very large stable that's half taken up by obvious war horses. Mm-hmm. Dripping with all the sincerity of a falling blackjack.
Alright, let's stable the magical horses.
Oh no, somebody might steal them.
A stable hand there negotiates out to the typical price for private horses. Writes down your names if you'll give them so that you can claim them later.
Fulton would give his.
Troy Solaric, my man.
Dutifully writes it down. Leads your horses to a stable near the back. And you find yourself on foot. There are no private horses walking through the lanes that you can see here, anyways. Just the occasional passing cart pulled by horse or oxen.
Don't worry, you can totally trust the guy whose eyes you can't see and who has blue hair.
It's the most trustworthy person in existence. Remembering what we do with the map, this should be the road we just go down.
I'll take you down the only road I've ever been down. Indeed, let's go before I have to interact with anybody else.
Grazan and Shinalar, as they cross the bridge, notice a pretty clear difference. Although the West Shore is mostly made up of middle-class families and lots of permanent established shops and craftsmen, the North Shore is much more bare of anything so utilitarian or middle class. These houses are all in much better condition, and there's fewer miscellaneous shops and such. There's more accounting than and such than there is, what's the word? Cobblers.
Ah, alright, it's basically the numbers district. Alrighty. That's actually kind of convenient. Right, so at this point we're going to start looking for, well, an inn of some measure. It's probably going to be a bit more like a manor for rent or something than anything else, but still.
Oh, nothing quite so severe. You do begin casting about, looking for accommodations, and the first one you see along the major road actually seems to it's got two signs hanging out front. The usual, sort of iconographic logo that you expect to see an inn flying to signal its presence to the illiterate, but hanging from it appears to be a royal crest of some sort.
Hmm. Hold on. I need to get my token. Okay, I'm going to try a knowledge of local on this.
I beg pardon?
Knowledge of local, is that some sort of recognizable local symbol? Like, is it just like we are approved by the royals or something?
You have actually seen it already. On the pennants hanging in front of the armories. Your best guess, without actually having anyone told you what it was, is it's probably the Baron or his family's sigil.
Lol, okay, that was funny. Well, Matt, you deserve that one. Right, so, So it's either owned by, operated by, or for them. So let's find out which it is and head inside.
You head inside, and it's a very well kept little place. There's few people in the dining hall here, but they're over at the counter. There's a portly gentleman behind it who waves you over.
I trot on over, greet him cordially. Evening,
nods.
Sarah.
He pauses and waves you a little further down the desk, down the counter, to where you can see there's a 2-foot-high footstool in front of the counter.
Gorzin shrugs and appreciates the gesture, gets on the footstool.
Hello, Miss, Sir. Welcome to the Ugly Pony.
He chuckled, not being the name I expected. But I assume you'd be getting that a lot. Right, judging from your signage, I'll be wondering if this particular establishment lets travelers pay for a room. Judging from the signage, it seems to be either endorsed by or for the royals.
Oh, yes, the Ugly Pony. 18 years running, we have borne the Baron's shield.
A lovely thing to be doing. Being from out of town, obviously, just be curious, and beyond just a signature of obvious profitability and just being a grand old inn, what's it mean beyond that? Is it just a sign of we're the best bloody inn in the whole damn freaking town, or?
Oh, we have the Baron's blessing. Every 4 years, every major shopkeep, innkeep, basically every service in town gets to compete for the right to bear the Baron's shield. We're one of only 2 inns to currently hold that honor. It means
Truly,
Baron likes
upstanding
to send a lot of his official business our way.
How does one win this award?
Well, qualifications vary. There's, he uses a star system. You get a star for every point that impresses him, and if you get a full constellation of 5, then you win the Baron's shield.
So you have 5 golden stars.
Well, they're not golden per se, but
5 stars proving a point. Alright, this sounds like the finest establishment I'd be hearing of in the entire bloody town. How much for a room?
How long will you be staying? I'm afraid I have
it's
some reservations near the end of the month.
It's not going to take that long. Most it's going to be is 2 weeks.
Oh, very good, sir. Well, in that case, I shall simply need the name of yourself and anyone else who will be sharing the rooms with you.
Cruising shakes his head. Nah, it ain't like that. It depends on the charge of the room, but assuming we can get a 2-bedroom, Gorzen be my name, and this be, I'll be letting her say it.
She's no there.
Let's see here. He goes through a ledger in front of him. There's a blank spot. So where's that quill?
Be smoking allowed in your fine establishment, or there be a smoking room.
I'm afraid not, good sir, but there is a small garden out the back that's private to this inn and the one across from us. Sure,
No trouble
one would
smoking there?
mind. Sure, no one would mind.
All right, thank you kindly. Just wondering.
So, I shall be needing your 15 crowns a head in advance for the first 2 nights. And after that, we can simply settle your bill when you're ready to leave.
Sounds about right. Very well,
Keep
and
your
this
ass
room would
out
be
the
a.
minibar.
And this room would be a 2-bed deal.
Yes, a single room with separate beds. And
Lovely.
will you? Do you have any other companions who'll be staying with you?
Not that we planned for.
Very well. Shall need for adjoining doors. There we go. I'm afraid I shall have to set you up with a room upstairs, but I have a nice private one at the corner of the building.
That sounds lovely. Thank you kindly. Yes, I'll settle the debt then. I'll pay for my half, and yeah. She, would you mind paying for your 15 for the second day? I'll pay for the first.
Agreed.
Alright, I place my 15 on it, and yeah. Oh God.
Dear God.
All right.
That's the implication I got from him. What do you want?
No, it's gonna be gores and screaming, and not about what you think it is.
Yeah, this will be interesting.
He stubs his toe.
And then everything explodes.
The man waves a young man over from the back and comes over. Any bags to carry, sir? Madam?
Mostly be carrying me stuff on the back, lad. A bit of a journeyer. Unless you want to be carrying me up them stairs, I be well.
I might pay for that.
If you want, that's your business. I trust me own legs first.
I'm the same.
Then he leads you to a room upstairs at the north corner of the building, overlooking the small garden he mentioned. It's walled in on all 4 sides, and there does seem to be a entrance into another inn across the garden from you. But other than that, it looks fairly pleasant. There's a couple trees. There's a small. It's not a fountain, more just a pool, but nevertheless.
'Tis pleasant enough and roomy enough. Right, so we just need to keep an eye out for our friends then. Which easy way to do that is to just make note of where we are and then just watch the main road.
Righto.
Sounds good.
Alton, Lindahl.
I would assume we're just following the road looking for the first inn.
Yes, let's hope we find them soon. I loathe having to interact with these people.
Hmm.
You wander down the road, and you do see an inn. It's a fairly large one, 3 floors in fact, a bit taller than the buildings on either side. Fairly impressive looking place.
That is certainly a landmark inn. Shall we go say hello?
Sure.
Inside, you find that although it has the signage of an inn, it doesn't have the usual sort of tavern arrangement downstairs. There is just a desk and lobby at the front, and several hallways that lead deeper into the building. There's a very frail-looking man standing behind the counter who notices you come in and just stands there looking bright-eyed.
I glance at Lindahl first, see if he's going to avoid this.
Well, hello, my good man. How are you doing today?
Very good, sir.
Just imagine he has like this big smile on, but it's like really creepy because he doesn't mean a word of it, so it just comes off as like this sinister, crazy axe murderer smile.
Oh, yeah. Diplomacy. Have you seen anything unusual? Any unusual types come by today?
I should not think we see any unusual types here. This is the North Shore. It is the glory of Harrogate.
That means it's boring.
Vaguely wondering if a half-orc cleric is considered unusual.
If it is, he is not letting his smile belie it.
Well, let's see. Sense motive to see how nice this if this hotel really is the jewel like he says it is.
You suspect there might be a lot of exaggeration in that.
Okay, now I'm going to whip out my spell book and go on Yelp to look at reviews.
But the sign outside did show a very large circle above a wiggly line. You think that the North Shore might actually be the name of this place.
Oh, can you replace the me on loot and inventory with the new me from the mansion? I just updated my skills on him.
Sure can. Carry on.
I just whisper over to Fulton. He's exaggerating and our friends haven't come through here. We should probably try another inn.
Do we know for certain that I've already found one? We may have arrived before then, even.
Very true, but look at me. Do you see somebody like me staying in a place like this?
Blinks once.
If you're looking for friends, I could check the register to see if they've arrived yet, good sirs. He actually rolled a 20 on his perception.
Oh.
Lucky and keep. That may be for the best.
Who are you looking for, sirs?
Don't say the harrow. Don't say the harrow. Don't say the harrow.
Dwarf. Surname of Gravel Grit.
Gravel grit.
Gravel grit. Not seeing anyone checked in by that name in the past 2 days. You need directions to where they said they would be staying?
Afraid we don't know where they might be staying.
They were very vague about where they were staying. They just said they'd stay in an inn.
Oh, I could see that could be difficult for you. Very well. If you would like to stay here, just come on back. We're not expecting to fill up any time. We should have plenty of rooms tonight.
You know what? That sounds great. We might just do that.
We're not going to do that. Just gonna smile. May Ayamede bless this establishment.
He looks confused for a moment and then
Elsetta's already ruined it.
improvises a praying hands bow.
I'm assuming that Lindahl is trying to get out of here as fast as possible.
Sort of like sprint
As he's
walking.
kicking you in the calves. Come on, come on.
Yeah, I'm just going to leave.
I'll follow.
I teleport away. No.
Wandering down the street, you eventually reach another inn. This one with a very large with what looks from a distance like a large banner, but it's actually two separate ones. A banner with it looks like a horse with some moles, and from it is hanging a big royal-looking seal.
Knowledge nobility. Knowledge local.
It is definitely the local baron's seal, that of the Harag family.
Well, this place looks much nicer. That is definitely the local baron's seal.
Depending on if there are any other inns further down the road, this may have been the first one they ran into. But we need to check each one till we find them. If we don't find them, pick one.
At that point, we come outside.
Yeah, you guys were probably downstairs watching out the windows.
Let us enter.
If they
So
were
we all
trying to
run
keep
in
an eye
together
on the
at the door.
street, yes. Yes.
Well, we recognize you, and then
That's when I
we-
pick up she in my embrace.
Oh god.
How I missed you, my dark one, who I keep appearing beside.
Do you really? Because you're
God.
gonna get stares for more
Not
than
really, no.
That would end poorly.
That would end very poorly.
just for everyone involved, always.
And there's a
Assuming you guys
distracting
enter-
clang as Gorzin's helmet knocks off of Fulton's breastplate.
Note to self. Find some time when I can make out with her to distract some guards.
That will not go well
That
for
will
anyone
really
again.
end badly.
There would be like an explosion of two wizards meeting and just killing each other instantly. Anyway, assuming you two enter and see us, we just nod and let you carry about getting a room. We don't say anything because we established we're going to pretend we don't know each other until we have a private space.
Hey there, my good man. We're looking for a room.
Gorzin stares at him like he grew a third
that's the
head.
exact same reaction.
Fulton just looks resigned, although he's trying to hide that.
Looks at Fulton. Looks at the
Welcome,
other fella.
good-
Just shakes his
Welcome,
head.
good sirs, to the Ugly Pony, finest establishment in Harrogath.
I can tell that.
Ah, you recognize the mark of the Baron.
I
Aye,
certainly
18
do.
18 years running, we've won all 5 of his stars.
What the hell
Have
is
you
he
really?
doing?
That is most interesting.
Could I set you gentlemen's up with some rooms?
Yes, please. We would like a double room, please.
A double room. I see. And anything for your companion here?
No, my friend here will be staying with me. He's my personal priest. Don't sense motive. Don't sense motive. Don't sense motive.
Indeed. Very well. let's see here. A room with 2 beds. He runs his finger down a chair.
Actually, I don't care if he sense motives. He'll just think I'm gay.
I have one room yet that with separate beds.
That
Do
sounds
you know
good.
how long? You know how long you'll be staying, good sir?
Oh, I'll book it for 1 week right now, and I'll extend if I need to.
Very well. Let's see here. It's the carry the 7. There we go. So I shall be needing 63 gold pieces from you, sir.
Pull out my giant sack of gold from inside my robe and give him the 63 gold pieces out of it and put it back.
He carefully and badly attempts to disguise his widened eyes. Very well, good sir. You shall be in room 2C. I'm afraid it is at the front of the building, but it is the last one I have with 2 separate beds.
Very well, sir.
He snaps his fingers, waves over a younger man.
Guy doesn't ask names. Nice hotel. But he rents rooms by the hour.
Could you see their bags up to the up to room 2C?
I think your giant pile of gold threw him for a loop.
Seems that way.
The younger man offers to carry any bags you have.
Oh, I'm fine. Do you have anything you need carried, my friend?
Physical burdens only serve to increase the burden of faith. I require no assistance.
Second time today. How am I ever going to earn a tip? Mutters as he walks away.
Corzin, as slowly as he can.
I mutter, here's a tip, get a better job in ancient Thessalonian.
Of course.
Gorzin, subtly as he's able, leaves a tip near to a point where that guy would see it first, the door warden.
Alrighty.
It'll be like 2 gold, so something simple.
Uh-huh. Right. The young gentleman leads you upstairs and down the hallway and gestures you to a door. And inside there is, well, he was perfectly correct. It is a room with 2 beds. Fortunately, it appears that they are bunk beds, one over the other.
I call top bunk.
I have a feeling I might break it, so that is probably best.
Just imagining saying that so stoically.
Dibs on top.
I will hand it to you, Lindahl. That was some acting, if mildly disturbing.
Yes, well, these creatures are easy to fool.
I'm not
They're
sure
humans
how
like
I
you.
feel about you calling them creatures. They are human.
They're below me in strength. They're creatures.
Uncharitable point of view.
Fortunately enough,
Don't
you
cast
guys.
fleshworm infestation. Don't cast fleshworm infestation.
Fortunately enough, you guys' rent does include 2 meals a day. So.
That's
Okay.
good. After I've left my tip, I'm going to essentially go up to my room, and if I see them in passing, and just... I'm assuming they leave their room after a minute. I just sort of wave them towards our room. Without saying anything.
Just remember, if any of these people ask, my name is Troy.
Troy. I know.
Yes, he's a boy I was quite inseparable from in my youth. He killed himself at the Mages Academy where we studied.
I'm sorry to hear that.
He was weak.
That crime, I now spread his reputation all over the land.
That's technically true.
You're a complete bastard. Moving on.
You guys see that that Gorazin and Shinalar's room is actually quite nice. It's got a desk. It's got a painting on the wall. It's got 2 separate, nicely furnished beds that are on either side of a bedstand. And there's actually a closet with lots of empty hangers inside. Fairly nice room.
If I was actually planning on sleeping in my room, this would anger me.
Yes, yours is significantly higher quality.
Gorazin shrugs. We just got here first, is all. Now then, bit of a mess up on the teleporting, obviously, but we all ended up where we needed to be, so stage 1 is more or less correct. On our end, we figured out something at least mild importance. All the merchants of this land, they don't do the whole walk into the gate with your stuff and head on in to sell your wares. No. They have a specific area south of here, some Masprit or Bend or something. Didn't catch the name entirely. Point being is that means that since every merchant stops by there and exchange their goods to a more local one, they all carry bills of sale. Meaning that if we find anything suspicious we need to track down, all we need to do is find that particular bill of sale, and we can follow a paper trail nice and easy. Like, no having to beat down or browbeat any merchant. Just get a hold of that and smooth sailing.
Simple, except for actually getting a hold of the bill of sale.
Aye, but it's a little easier to have at least a piece of paper. Plus, it gives us evidence. So if we need to come up to the Baron with a particular going on, there's evidence.
You're missing a more important point. There's a place where everybody who comes into the city goes, where we can blend in and find information discreetly.
Where would that be?
The markets.
Suppose but most of the markets are held by locals. That's what I just informed you of. Any foreigners
They'll
who are
notice
trading,
people coming in.
What being your point? I'm pretty sure our target has been here longer than we, so it's not going to be like a recent event.
He's been here 1, maybe 2 days tops. Somebody would have noticed this man coming in. He's a man of some repute.
I don't know how well wanted he is. I don't know if he's like the sort to have his face plastered all over the boards. He could be just wanted down south,
Also,
he wouldn't head to a city where his face is well known,
Also, the timing you have is that he was seen at that monastery about a week, maybe a week and 3 days ago.
So he might have been here for like half a week, give or take.
Okay.
So he's not going to be
way,
fresh news, and he's not going to go to a place where his face is easily recognized.
Either way, half a week is still 3 days. It's not a long time.
But he's not going to a place where his face is easily recognized, and simply asking, hey, I'm looking for a dwarf who's a little bit taller than normal with a black beard is going to line up with like 80 dwarves. If we start getting even more specific,
80 of them.
I suppose, but the more specific we get, the more suspicious
I can be
it sounds.
very methodical.
And it looks really suspicious, and he's going to run for it. And unfortunately, we don't control the city guard, so we can't exactly close the place off.
No, but we have been given information on each chief of the guard.
Aye, but we're not supposed to bother them unless we have to, We don't have to.
No, but we ought to bother their staff.
I'm thinking what we need to do right now is try and get it into one of the gangs mentioned in our papers. Like, when I'm a dwarf, half of those are dwarven cults. It shouldn't be that hard to at least get some basic information on my end. Find out where they hang out, that sort of thing. We might want to speak to the police chief just to know where they like to hang out specifically, but other than that...
I will hardly be able to pass for any of the cultists.
Nah, he won't. That's why I'm
Um,
thinking.
A demoniac's what I think it is, right?
I beg pardon?
A demoniac's what I think it is, right?
Yes, worshipper of a demon, as
Ooh,
opposed to a devil or a.
I can summon those. I'm going to try to make an in with them.
Fair enough. I mean, let me just double check this. So let's each try and find an inn, and if we can't find an inn for everyone, one person's at least going to be backup in some term. Alright, let's see.
But yes, the information you have on organizations is the Amethyst Blood, which is just a local gang. They're estimated 25 members. Of little note, if they wouldn't even be notable if it wasn't for the fact that you're looking for a dwarf. Amethyst Blood is all dwarven or dwarf descended, so they might be important. There's the Crimson Arm, which is an offshoot of a Lamashtu cult, and there is the Jovial Flesh, unknown precise deity, but they are known to harbor other Diabolists, devil worshippers, and Demoniacs, demon worshippers, from the law.
Alright, so we have two inns easily. I can get in the Amethyst Blood without too much trouble, and our friendly wizard here can probably get into the Jovial Flesh. However, you two, it looks to she and Frendal and just blinks.
You still can't get his name.
No, I can't. Give it like a year and I'll think about getting his name right. Frendal, Fendal, Friend.
Fulton.
I like Frendal. I'm sticking with it.
So who's the doll? Why do I keep saying doll?
I don't know.
No. Ooh, it's only Frendal when I cast Fusion and fuse us together.
Okay. So Fulton is him, and who's the other then?
Lindahl.
Lindahl and Fulton. Yeah, that's gonna take forever for me to remember. At least she is like a short, simple. Like I can say that.
I'm going to revert to one of my earlier identities to try to get an in. I changed the color of. I used prestidigitation to change the color of my robes green and my mask red, and change into my old persona, Fox of the Shadows.
Fair enough, I suppose. So, from what I can tell, we haven't entered two of them. We can't get into the Crimson Arm as of right now, between like considering what they worship and that sort of thing.
I can very easily get into the investigations against either of these cults.
Aye, but that would make you put off on your own unless you want to bring she with you, and it's kind of dangerous just leaving us two out in the wind with a pair of colts, you know? Here's my thought on it. We don't know what the Amethyst Blood is up to other than vague panelism, which is bad, but, you know, not as bad as, you know, actively worshipping demons. And let's put it this way, you're a cleric, and I'm pretty darn sure you could turn demons inside out by looking at them really hard.
I would relish the chance to destroy a demon.
Aye. So with that in mind, I'm going to say this.
Relish.
You can't be seen following our Lindahl friend here, or the Fox in the Shadows. You can't be seen with him at like any point from this point onwards, at all. But you can tail him if you know how to do that subtle like, or at least be in the same city, you know, same zone, same rough area as him. If you have some way to communicate between you silently or quietly, that'd be the best choice. I know wizards can do, you know, quiet spell like, so something like that to give you a warning. Essentially what you're going to do is guard him. So he's going to head in, get to the cult. If he encounters trouble, and let's face it, we're all gonna, you can get a quick alert in, rush in, and start making arrests. You might have to swing by just yourself by one of the, you know, military offices and get like a temporary deputy badge or something, because there's no damn way we're hiding what you are.
Aye.
Alright, yeah, so she's probably gonna be with me. Honestly, you're not dwarven, so you're not gonna get into this particular cult, but you're subtle enough that you can like stay at a distance and just kind of shadow me, I suppose.
That sounds fine.
If you can summon anything small and sneaky, like maybe something turned invisible, or some sort of spy creature, that'd help a lot to give us eyes in places.
I might have something that would work.
Alright, so okay, plan is I'm gonna see if I can get into the amethyst blood. Not a big one. I'm probably gonna. Oh, that's perfect. Hold on. Fulton, there it is. I wrote it. Hey, I wrote it down. I have to make sure. Fulton, if you mind, you're going to need to swing by the offices regardless, so you're going to need to get us some papers listing like where they hang out. Like both cults are well known to at least frequent. Amethyst Blood and Jovial Flesh. Now, for Jovial Flesh, we already have an in, but Amethyst Blood's going to be a little harder, so I do definitely need a general area. Jovial Flesh, right. Just go talk to our contact. How you go about handling the stuff that goes inside and that sort of thing's your own business. I ain't gonna tell you how to do your job, I'm just gonna insist we try and do it quietly, because if he gets alerted to us, he can disappear real fast.
I'm just going to turn all my stuff back to its normal color before I walk out of the building and find somewhere to turn invisible and then change everything back while I hunt down members of the Jovial Flesh to get in with them.
You might want to wait till
yeah, we need our
Fulton
official...
gets like... Yeah, let him go get like the information, like where they like to hang out and that kind of thing, and where our contact might be found before you do that, just for the sake of saving time.
That comes down to the East City Guard or the West City Guard?
I can find a Diabolist on my own, thank you.
We do have a contact already. Diabolist.
It'd be a straight contact. All you know is where he hangs out, and that guard have exactly where he hangs out. If you ask me, poorer district is going to be our bet. I assume the east is the poorer one.
The east shore, yes, is the poorest of the three sections of the city, and that's pretty much because they're the ones nearest the scarred neck.
Yeah, that'd be the reason. Yep, so that would probably be the place we'd find him, if you ask me, so best asking that guard. However, I will point out that guard has a chance of being corrupt, so if you go asking these very obvious questions, which you're going to have to ask, they might have a little warning that they're on the lookout for you, which is why you're going to have to be kind of clever, if that makes any sense about things. You could ask the West, but the West might not be as corrupted, but at the same time, they might not have the same level of information, so that one's mostly up to you. So how subtle do you think it can be is the question.
You tell me!
Okay, ye can't be subtle worth a damn, but...
Subtlety is not my strongest point.
If you want mythos on it, we don't need super specific details, just where they hang out. I'm pretty sure the Western folk could have at least that written down somewhere. So you might be safer going there just to avoid possible corruptions of the kind where, I don't care if they're corrupted by the nobles, fuck if I care. It's the folk that are on the gang's payroll I worry about. So I'd vote West if you need a decision for you, but otherwise you do decision what you want.
West may be the safer option.
Alright then, so...
Simply letting them know that we're here on behalf of the Ministry of Adventurers.
No, you're going in alone. You need to... They can't know about us. You have to appear to be just one cleric who wants to do good in the world and wants to just have information about the local cults so you can go do what you do, essentially.
Fair.
Well, the rest of us are going to pretend to be cultists, for goodness sake. Can't blow our cover that soon,
Shouldn't be a problem. Let's just say Fox of the Shadows has a reputation.
I'll just let you leave it at that, but would the Fox mind turn invisible, because he can just seem to do that, and trailing behind our friend...
Poof of red smoke.
Well, keep behind Fulton, because Fulton's going to get the information. We need you to just basically wait outside for Fulton to come out with the information, go down an alley, exchange the papers. Then you invisibly give the papers to me, and from there we split up. That way no one sees us passing around notes,
Very well.
And our current records say that the known diabolist is a... What's this? Lokuan Kanil?
Lokan Ka'ano.
Okay, very different. Lokan
My
Kanil.
character pronounces it properly.
Yeah.
I pronounce it Loki.
A known
I'm going to call him
diabolist,
Gary.
publicly known as a merchant guildsmith.
Alright, so it's phase 1. You go into the western guard post or whatever they happen to have, station, get the information we need, come out. The fox will be waiting for you invisibly. You pass it to him in a nearby alley. He finds us in an alley 2 steps over, we'll say, passes it to us, then we split up from there to where we need to be. Then we don't know where we're going to be, obviously, from there, because the information will tell us, but that's the first stage.
Before that, a method of communication between Lindahl and I.
That would be Intelligent Eye. Me and she already have one, which is she spies on me with her little summon things, so that's pretty direct, but you two need something quiet and simple.
Shinalar,
Yes?
I don't believe you have any way to see through the senses of any of your summons, only through your Eidolon, right?
Right. It does have a stealth of plus 28.
You can always just
that
summon something that has telepathy.
Telepathy is generally broadcast only.
Ah, okay. Never mind then.
That would not be useful.
I could just polymorph any object into something fine. It would stay that way for a few hours.
Not sure how it helps you two communicate. We don't have walkie-talkies.
He's talking about the summon Eidolon.
Oh, that would be clever, I suppose. You said how long it would last, you said?
I'd have to
Couple
look at
hours?
the chart. And, well, depends on the Eidolon's kingdom and whatnot, and what I can turn it into. Yeah.
Reptilian serpent. Unless it's
Actually,
not.
Yeah, if you just want to use it as a very high spell slot shrink creature. Let's see.
I was
here.
thinking about doing that to myself, but then I realized it's not dismissible.
Here we go. Reduce person. No, reduce monster. There we go. No, wait, that reduce monsters, third party only. Go figure.
That's kind of odd.
Yeah, reduced spells don't go beyond the first level, which is stupid.
Yeah, and it can only do one size. So yeah, you could use polymorph any object to shrink him down to basically any size class. So long as you preserve all other attributes of him, it should last a reasonable amount of time.
Well, the problem with that is if you go by, I thought about doing that for myself because I'd get a huge strength penalty, but it would work out to me having 1 strength and nothing's going to hit me like that anyway. The problem is it's not dismissible, and the target time would be permanent if you follow the chart.
Would it be permanent on the LDR if she dismissed it? I mean, I don't
No,
Yeah, that'd be the same.
It would be permanent. I'd have to it would have to be
You'd have to
dispelled.
actually
Even casting another
dispel, yeah.
even casting another polymorph any object won't do it. Like I could bring it back, but then it's got a second polymorph making it itself. Eventually that's gonna have to be dispelled.
Do we actually care whether or not your LDR is fine sized? I mean, I don't know what you use it for, to be honest.
Like that's what I said. Like I thought about doing it for myself because I'd get a whopping plus 11 to AC, touch AC, and attack. But my strength would be 1, and I wouldn't be able to change back. Casting, spelling it.
Yeah.
But doesn't matter if your LDN's like that, at least for time being. I mean, I don't know what if you use it for combat, yeah, it's a terrible idea, but I don't know what you use it for.
It's mostly for stealth and using wands, to be honest.
Well, I can use a wand while fine, so I don't see why not.
If he has a fine-sized wand, otherwise no.
Yeah, it depends on what happens with the equipment that it has.
Equipment
It would-
that it's carrying reduces in size with it.
Well, it's carrying wands.
But it's only going to be carrying them when I cast it. You won't be able to give it more wands ever because they don't make fine-sized wands.
Doesn't
Unless you
have
want
its
to
own.
I don't
Doesn't
think
have its
that'll
own
be a problem
handy
until
hip
much
sack.
later, and by the time that problem comes up, we'll just unshrink it, you know?
Well, plus I could use polymorph any object to just shrink more wands, so yeah.
Not really an issue. So yeah, let's shrink your Eldion down to fine size, which is very easy to be literally a fly on the wall. Very ugly fly, but there it is.
Oh wait,
Aw.
I need to check the
It's not
spell
that ugly.
because I need to check the terms of
Okay,
the
it's not as
spell.
ugly as an actual fly, I'll give you that one. Actual flies are fucking hideous.
Can you automatically dispel your own magic?
No, you cannot if the duration is not listed as dismissible. Or do you mean? Oh, you mean
Like
dispel,
with a
not.
yeah, with a greater. If you cast a spell to dispel it, can you? Because that would actually be a really potent combat buff for me.
You automatically succeed on your dispel check against any spell that you cast yourself. So yes,
Fun.
there's
So
no
once a
check
day
to
I
be
can-
made. You just need to burn a dispel magic slot.
Which, if I ever do that to myself, I can just do with my bonded object. That is awesome. Because if you follow the size change rules, I'm down to 1 strength,
Yes,
but I get
yes.
like 8 extra dex, and I get 6 extra dex, and plus 8 and just an 8 size modifier. So I'd get huge bonuses to AC, touch AC, and attack.
Yeah.
That is fucking broken. I love it.
I'm trying to find anything I can do to communicate over
Okay, no.
distances.
Well, I mean, I
And
have
it
no
doesn't even
problem
slow
with.
me down if I'm using overland
I have no
flight, which is
problem with doing it
also
to her
prohibited.
Eidolon as long as it doesn't permanently screw it up forever.
If you can cast dispel magic, then you could try to get rid of that yourself at any point, or you could just wait for Lindahl to dispel it, who needs to exert almost no effort, just a spell slot to do it. It would persist between summonings of your Eidolon, but if your Eidolon is killed, all other effects that are on it disappear, and I think that does include the this one. So
Oh, how nice! All I gotta do is kill it.
if it ever gets reduced to 0 hit points, yes, you have to make do without it for the rest of the day, but when you next summon it, it'll be as good as new.
Well, she'll pressure him to promise to fix it if he's gonna do this.
Very well. Yeah, I'm going to have to remember to slot a greater dispel so I can cast that on myself and dispel it.
Okay.
Just from now on, now that I know I can do that, because that's just, of course, if anybody ever gets me with, manages to hit me with something that saps my strength, I am fucked. But it's better than being fucked if anybody ever decides to come after me at all. So
Yeah. Okay,
Hello,
so let's
sorry, I
see.
had to take a second.
Yeah, no worry. We've just been working out the terms of that. Okay.
So,
your Eidolon will be fine sized once you summon it.
Well, she'll need to summon it first.
Damn.
I'm just burning the spell now because we're doing it.
Yep.
Right.
Okay, so
I'm not entirely sure I have a method for communicating over, distances.
yeah, give me just a second to work out the details of this. Okay, so your Eidolon, given that it started from small size, it is going to it's going to get a relative +6 to its AC. To its AC, including touch AC. +6 to its 2 hit rolls, but all of its attacks are down to a damage of 1, not even D2.
Ability changes due to size differences are on a table under monster advancement.
Yep.
Don't know why they tucked it there, but there you go. Because
see.
she actually, for going down in size, she loses strength and gains dex.
Let's see here. From small to diminutive, to fine. Let's see here. -4, -4. Okay, so minus 10 to its strength.
Yep, that's
Oh,
one.
Oh,
Plus...
sorry, yeah, you'd start out at small to tiny, which is 4, 6, -6 to its strength. You're starting on medium to small.
Oh, my bad. Yep.
So it gets, yeah, I've looked at this table because I was trying to figure that out. So
Yeah,
it
I
gets
just started in the
6 to
wrong
its
column.
strength. Yeah, -6 to its strength plus 6 to its dex.
Okay, so 5, 26. Con does not change. Int Wiz Charisma does not change.
On top of,
Its
yep.
hit die, not its hit die, its damage die goes way down. It's now only going to do fixed 1 plus strength mod damage. And yeah, so it's going to do 1 non-lethal damage no matter what it attacks with. But it gets a +8 size modifier to stealth and CMD.
Actually, it gets a -8 to CMD. It gets a +8 to AC.
Small stuff sucks at
Oh.
grapples.
Right. It's yeah. The 2 hit rolls go up, but the defense goes into the shitter.
You can grab a bee just like that.
Yep.
We all know how easy it is to grab a fly out of the air.
Mm-hmm. Piece of cake.
Well, for Buffy, it isn't.
Luckily, you have a +16 to your stealth, so good luck for anybody trying to see you, since good luck trying to find something that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's already at something above a +40 on that without that bonus.
Yeah, and you can use pretty much anything for cover to be able to do stealth at that size.
Mm-hmm. So, stealth of 42. That should help, and you can link senses with it and whatnot, and... Are you using a summoner archetype? Can't remember.
Yeah, I'm using Master Summoner.
Right. Okay, does that cancel out... Does not cancel out transposition, so you can teleport trade places with your Eidolon if you need to.
Yeah, the only thing it replaces here is Bond Senses. That would be useful.
Oh.
So it's got to be communicating to me what it sees rather than me actually seeing it.
Gotcha. Yeah, you got augment summoning instead of bond senses.
Yes.
So it has to act more as a messenger than a telepathic communication.
Yeah,
Aye,
pretty much.
but I can hold my own for at least a round.
You mean at least 2-3 minutes, but yeah.
I'll be okay.
Okay. That's that dealt with. Fulton, you were about to mention something about planning.
I'm just trying to find some method of communicating over distances, and
Right.
clerics don't get much in that regard. There's sendings and other.
But that's
things,
a 10-minute casting time, yeah.
Yes. The best I could do would be to prepare status and then have that going.
Status or greater status is actually pretty good.
I don't think I actually have greater status.
Looking for the spell lists. Spells, no, by class. There we go.
It looks like it's only under a domain, actually. Greater status.
Yep, so it is. Yeah, community 4.
But status by itself is really good.
Yeah. Direction and distance, and whatever the full list of conditions affecting them.
With
and
my magic rod of extending, it'll go on forever.
Yeah, pretty much. And yeah, I have previously ruled that this spell, you can't tell precisely how injured someone is, but you can tell that they're that they have started taking damage. So if someone starts getting beaten up, you don't have to wait for them to reach bloodied to know that they're being hurt.
Right. The only downside is if there's anything sort of a blood sacrifice to get in.
Ow,
Who
it's on my
knows?
toe. Now the cleric knows I'm hurt. Now I don't look as cool.
And the cleric comes rushing in, and nothing's happened. Except, the fight starts then.
Hi, would you like to buy some makeup?
Awesome.
But I do not have status prepared today.
Didn't leave a second level slot open?
I had it, actually, and then I prepared silence, thinking we were going to be crafting that, and we did not, so...
And I don't suppose you prepared Channel the Gift either.
No, I need to start preparing that.
Mm-hmm. Definitely the most useful spell Varg was casting for ages, chiefly because for the longest time his wisdom was 13, and it was the best spell he could cast. Alrighty, so earmark status for use later.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Seems like we're set.
Alright, so Fulton, you guys said that first thing that's going to be happening is Fulton is going to go get some information from the guard and then pass it out to you guys.
Yep, subtly, use an invisible man as our messenger, for God's sake.
Yes.
Yep.
Which means heading west across the river, and then looking for the first guard.
Yeah, we'll
Hopefully
leave
they
at
don't
different
have
times
trucing, or I'm dead.
Yeah, kind of. Let's split it out into groups. Like you leave, and then we'll leave in let's say 15 minutes. Sound about right? Like a 15-minute space.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you 15 minutes of talking to them before we even show up at our alleyway. So it's presumed it'll take at least that long for them to get their shit in gear.
Oh, before we do leave the inn,
Yep.
going to change out of the cleric's vestments. We're going to look the part for this.
Alright.
So back in armor with the helmet on.
Alrighty.
And I disappear into a puff of red smoke.
Presumably after I summon my Eidolon.
Yeah, and you guys fiddle with that.
No, he could wait and then just apply that while after you do.
Technically, since you're allowing it, that's not an attack and doesn't dispel my invisibility.
Fulton strides purposefully out of the inn, drawing a very weird stare from the owner as you pass through the tavern downstairs.
I'm on a mission.
Yes.
Gordon's gonna wait his 15 minutes in the outside in the garden smoking.
Yep.
Subtle.
He can't be subtle, so he's doing what he can.
You find yourself on the street. It looks like the sun will be down in about 2 hours, maybe 3.
Heading west. Southwest. Down the road.
Southwest. Across the river?
Yes.
Okay. You pass by the local temple to Desna. It appears that Desna's a very big deity in this area.
Bow my head. She may not be my one god, but looking for any guard on the street.
You find one soon enough. A guard just hanging out on the corner, keeping an eye on the populace.
Oh, good man.
Good day. I didn't know there were inquisitors in town.
The ones we are looking for would likely go to ground if they did, wouldn't they?
Indeed, good sirs, especially at your size.
On that subject, I am looking for the offices where information on these people may be kept.
I'm afraid I wouldn't know where to direct you, other than perhaps the guard captain's office.
That would be good enough.
Alrighty then. Chief Tatton keeps his offices in the Grey Armory. Just down this road this way, sir.
I see. Thank you. I'll hand him off a gold piece, as Bombard has been so often doing.
Tips for everyone.
Yes.
And constant map switching for me.
Only some of them are his penis.
Wow.
Okay then.
You arrive at the big armory building with gray pennants outside. There are men. Inside. The gate is open, and inside there are men engaged in arms drills in the courtyard.
What kind of arms drills?
Looks like these ones are doing simple sword exercises with wooden swords.
Is there any main gate or open door or anything of the sort once you pass the entrance?
Once in the gate, there's the courtyard has racks of weapons upon a few of the walls and doors into the place all around. But someone does notice you and approach. Can I help you with something?
Perhaps. I'm a servant of my lady Ayamede, and I am looking for information on the criminals in this area.
I see. I guess I shouldn't be too surprised. Foreigners trying to take even our jobs.
They took our jobs.
I apologize. I'm on a pilgrimage to root out this evil wherever I find it.
And suppose you're looking to piggyback off some of our work.
I imagine your work is the majority of this. You have kept this city well maintained.
Well, thanks, as you do. Very well. Chief Tatton is in his office. All hours. Just through the door over yon.
I'll head to whatever door he pointed to.
He pointed to the one over yon. Weren't you listening?
Thank you, good sir.
Inside, there's a short hallway that's lined with small chests and like shelves with and an open door at the far end. The light of a candle flickers in.
I missed part of that. You said a shell or something?
Shelves, floor to ceiling shelves, covered in with a whole bunch of almost identical small chests, like just a bit bigger than a book.
Shells covered with breasts?
It is the best use for them, but carry on.
Is there anyone in the room?
No, but at the far end of this hallway with the shelves, there is a room with a ajar door, and light of a candle flickering from within.
I'll walk up to the door, but knock, even if it's open.
Well, come on, get on with it.
I'll go in.
There is a very, very elderly-looking half-elf behind the desk, surrounded with stacks of paperwork and a few papers in front of him that he seems to be in the middle of dutifully copying. And there is a single candle sitting on the desk in front of him, and no other windows or illumination in the room.
Chief Tatton?
I am.
I am Fulton, a servant of my lady Ayamede. I searched
Oh.
for information on criminals in the area.
Oh. All right. We've got lots of
If he was
those.
any more blunt, he'd be a hammer.
We've got lots
I
of
did
those.
tell you
Do you
this.
have any more specifics? Are you looking for someone in particular or something?
A cult known as the Jovial Flesh, and a much smaller gang of dwarves, Amethyst Blood.
Ah, real specific fetish you got there. Okay. Hmm.
I
Let's
did
see.
warn everyone he's blunt.
Let's see here. The jovial flesh. That would be under R. Where's the books on
That makes no damn
R?
sense.
He gets up, wanders over to a wall,
Also,
wanders
there's
through a
blunt,
stack
and
of
then
paper.
there is blunt, and there's I am a flat surface.
He shuffles through a stack of papers and eventually pulls a small sheaf out, flips through it. Puts it back where it was. I know I keep those around here somewhere. Be a good lad. In that hallway just out there, bring me the chartreuse box with the 2 circles on the cover.
Very well. Chartreuse.
Roll an intelligence check to see if you know what color that is.
I don't think he would know what color that is. So that's a thing I need to do. The macro for it. Okay.
Oh, for simple ability checks?
Yeah.
There is one on the campaign tab. But probably quicker to type it if you've already got your hands on the keyboard. I'll be back in just a second.
Also, he has no modifier for his int score.
Does that mean the red one?
I know what color chartreuse is. He doesn't.
I know.
I'm sure he at least knows the chartreuse does not equal red. Because they would have said red.
I am most captivated by this color, purple. It is a hue most worthy of a warrior. Great, I'm the only one who gets the angel references. You people suck.
Sorry.
Not sure what I can do about that.
There's an episode of Angel where a great warrior from another dimension known as the Grusalog is helping Angel pick out paint for his hotel.
The best use for a demon? Okay. Bolton, you paw through your memory and eventually you think chartreuse is somewhere between yellow and green. So you look through this dim hallway and find one of these boxes that does have the double circle on the cover.
Alright. As long as it's somewhere between yellow and green, I'll take it back in.
Good. Unlocks it with a key he pulls from a necklace, opens it up, and it seems to be just... It is not merely full of papers. As he opens the lid, it expands to a stack about 3 foot tall. Begins flipping idly through it and pulls out a sheaf. There we go. stuffs the papers back in the book-sized box, tosses it haphazardly into a corner of the room. Okay. The jovial flesh. Known con. Nope. Yeah. Don't have too terribly much, but you can have what I've got here. He hands you a pair of sheets of paper.
That would be very helpful. I'll just glance at them before, waiting for him to find the amethyst blood.
It appears that they don't have much information about the jovial flesh. There's a list of 2 people who were known to be associated with it, but they are dead. And there's also a location where another person was arrested in suspicion of being associated with the jovial flesh, but he has since gone missing after being released on bail. He was picked up apparently sorry, reading this in the wrong order. He was arrested because he was found with some carrying some fel equipment, is how it's written, FEL, through the streets, and was arrested before reaching his destination, somewhere on the Stained Road. Yes?
Oh, is that? I'm just typing a lot of things out right now, so I'm trying to keep up.
Yep.
So Stained Road, name of perpetrator, and he was arrested for carrying full equipment. Yeah. So what was the name of the perpetrator?
I'll write it down.
Beyond that, I was just curious, was there another area before that? I got in kind of late because I had to pick up another drink.
There were 2 people who were listed as being associated, but have since died.
Okay, so 2 dead members.
Yep. And the paper makes no mention of Lucan Ka'anal.
The what?
Lucan Ka'anal, the
that we
person
already
who
know.
the ministry has told you is associated with the jovial flesh.
Oh. Oh, okay. Okay, that's more for Team 1, we'll call them, and Team 2. Okay, I keep getting the 2 names bloody confused.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my character existed first, so obviously I'm going to be Team 2.
You just roll with whatever sounds right.
DC logic.
So that's where the blood would be found. Jovial flesh. Flesh would be found with that.
And the
And this blood is the other one.
elderly half-elf sits back in his chair. Is that all, my lad?
Do you have anything on the amethyst blood?
Oh.
I realize they're a small problem, but
Yes, and they're actually not my problem. I'm afraid you shall have to see the East Guard about them. I wouldn't have dealt with them, but I've heard the name.
I see. Thank you for your assistance, Chief Tan.
No problem. If you need me, I can be found here pretty much any time of day.
I will keep note of it. I'll bow to him before leaving.
He waves, and the door seems to shut itself after you leave.
Kind of glance around, assuming that Lindahl is still invisibly following me. That was very
I
odd.
whisper in his ear, I'm here.
Restraining the urge to backhand that area of space. Right, leaving the building.
Yes, I can see you doing that. I assumed your character said that in character, no?
I'm going to ignore the very unsubtle attempt for Gorzin to start trying to carry around a shipping journal and just continue with this thing because we do need to go to the east to get some info as well. I wanted to avoid that, but apparently we don't get to.
Well, apparently I need to go find Lo Quan Quinil,
Mm-hmm.
and my character totally pronounces that right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that, and keep an eye out for that other name, John and Ayrton.
Yep. Well, I have overland flight, so up and away. It's an
Right,
invisible
just-
bird. It's an invisible plane.
Well, don't forget to actually get the papers before you leave.
Mm-hmm.
No, of course not.
So
And I guess
leaving
you
the
just
building, finding just some side street.
Yes.
some side street we'd just be like one street over. It'd be pretty easy to find us.
Just
Gorzin-
shadowing you.
Yeah, Gorzin would likely just be playing cards with she badly, trying to explain rules badly, and cheating badly.
Frustration
the-
abound.
So I take the papers, and I have to choose one of these two to give my papers to. I think it's going to be the woman. I'm going to slip them in her pocket and run away.
But we don't have any papers for them.
Yeah,
I
we
thought
don't
we
have
had
any.
papers for them, no?
No, we don't. We have to go to the east to get papers for us. So basically, he's just slipping by the. Because our original plan was get all the information here, pass it to us, and the conga line formation. But it turns out they only have information on one of them, so we're going to basically go to the east and do what we just did here, just for a different group.
Yep.
And then you pass us the papers.
So when I run with you guys,
It's basically
We
just
have
more
to-
legwork.
we have
It's the
to
light
head
and dark
east.
towers in Pandora's Tower all over again.
Yeah, just legwork. Alright, so you communicate, hey, you need to follow me some more. You basically just tell Mr. Invisible, hey, have them follow me for a bit. We need to get information at these towers, and then you pass it to us visibly. Gorzin tries very hard to throw his cards in the air and scream something about ghosts, haunted cards, and
That's why
Onwards.
he's losing.
I don't know if he's winning or losing. He doesn't know either. He doesn't remember how to play this game.
But you didn't react at all when you saw an actual ghost.
No. That wasn't. That's magic. That's completely unimpressive. Obvious. I used magic in front of you. Invisible stuff. That's different.
You saw me go invisible.
No, I mean
Shadalar, you
there are
seem to have
creatures that exist. Visible
Gorzin
stalkers.
attempted to teach Gorzin attempted to teach you how to play bridge with only 2 players, and you managed to master the rules immediately, and he just seems to have no idea how to actually win at the game.
Excellent.
I'm pretty sure if I cross over this thing, you have to king me.
And thus the student
Also
becomes the
checkmate.
master instantaneously.
I don't know how you managed to master this game through his communications.
She's just that intuitive.
But yeah,
So
setting
when-
south.
That or she knows what
over the
bridge is
water.
and realizes, oh, we're playing bridge, and Gorzin is just to realize that.
And she just doesn't help him.
So when can you take the queen in this game?
Only after hopping on 1 foot for 5 hours.
Crossing the bridge over to the east shore, the first thing you really notice is that although you couldn't see it through buildings lining the west shore, this is actually where on the east shore is where all of the docks are, all the warehouses as goods pass through here on their way to or from other nations to the north. Particularly, the River Onge here is a major part of the overland trade route to Alastria. So
Good to know.
not all goods pass through the gate, or through Muspracht Bend. Only the goods arriving by land do.
Alright. Well, looking for another guard.
You find one soon enough, and you find that on this shore, all of the guards wander in pairs.
Certainly not a bad thing to do. Oh, guardsman.
Don't worry, I'm right here.
God damn it.
What ho, sir? Knight, what do you make of his uniform, Bob? I don't know, Bill.
He does have, symbols of Mayday on it, but who's to say they would recognize? Just check really quick. I'm looking for the headquarters of the East City Guard.
Oh, well, that'd be the Yellow Armory, just down the road here. But, what business have you?
I'm a servant of my lady Mayday. I'm here to root out criminals in the area. Yes, I realize. But this is what's going on.
Get this, Bob. He thinks he can root out criminals. If we could do that, you think we'd be standing around with these spears?
Just for the lulz, I'm going to use prestidigitation to make his eyes glow.
His eyes were already
Alton's-
red.
Now they're glowing red.
Great. Thanks.
Hey.
Rage engaged, tear off heads of incompetent guards, rawr.
The guards look a little surprised at this, obviously. We didn't mean any offense, sir. What do you make of his accent, Bill? Sounds kind of orcish to me, Bob.
In any case, the Yellow Armory. I'll be on my way now, thank you.
Oh, yep, just that way, past the temple, take a left.
On my way, not tipping them.
I'll
You
tip
passed-
them on my own way when they're not looking. Not really.
Like cow
You
tipping.
pass. Yeah, immediately on your right is a very large temple to Caden Kalian, clearly another oft worshipped deity here in the area.
As with
Not
the
too
Temple to Desna, bowing.
Not too surprising, really, considering Caden Kalian would be a god of luck and drink. Expect to find that in the poorer quarters of a city. Fair ways down the road. It's been actually quite a long walk since the inn, and night is beginning to set. But fortunately, there's, the streets are not too narrow on the major roads, so the sky keeps a reasonable amount of light. It looks like it's going to be a clear, cloudless night, although the moon is not in the sky at this time of month.
Alright. Yellow... Why do I keep wanting to say Yellow Quarter?
The Yellow Armory stands here with its gate shut, but there are a group of men in the gateway.
I'll assume they're dressed as every other guard.
Yep.
Oh, guardsman.
What do you want?
Is the Yellow Armory open? I seek information.
Information? Nothing to find here but guards.
I was directed here from the West Guards.
Directed here for... Oh, you're, would you be looking for the chief?
Aye.
Alright, well, he doesn't keep office here, but... anyone catch what bell it is? Well, he'll be by on patrol soon enough. Just, go stand at the corner just there to the north there, and, he'll be by, eventually.
I see. Very well. I'll go stand at whatever corner they point to. Proactive guard chief.
You're standing there for 10 minutes, 20, half an hour, and it's just about 40 minutes pass when when suddenly from around the bend here comes a very burly, very fit human man at the head of a line of guardsmen, 3 abreast, maybe 10 or 12 long line, all moving at a brisk run. They bolt right past you.
Well, are they heading just back down the street or into the armory?
They are headed north.
I will follow them if they're moving quick enough that I can't really speak with them before they get by.
They're moving at a brisk jog.
I will try and catch up with them.
Okay. You manage to keep pace with the lot of them, but they want one of the ones at the back. We help you, citizen.
Is Chief Navarre among you?
Ah, at lead.
We'll try and move forward to the front of the pack.
Constitution check.
One of my good scores, at least.
You put a bit of extra effort into your step, start regretting wearing armored shoes.
Yeah.
Make it to the lead. After a few moments, the man at the front notices you. Yep. What is it?
You are Chief Navarre?
That I am.
I seek information on gangs in the area. Your men told me to wait for you at that corner.
Ah, well, it's the only way to catch me.
Certainly seems like good exercise.
Looking for any gangs in particular?
The Amethyst Blood, the dwarves.
Oh, them. Pretty small fry.
Aye.
Oh, Inquisitor, ain't ya?
Not gonna say yes or no. Just gonna keep moving.
Well, don't have any on the streets we know about right now, or else they wouldn't be on the streets. Catch my drift.
Aye.
Let's see here. Caught. Yeah. We actually found a boy who was running around with a severed finger around his neck just last week. Trying to keep it hidden under his shirt. Kids these days don't know how to do anything right.
Huh.
Yeah, we've got him in the jail right now. We could let you give him a good shaking down. Tried it ourselves, but these dwarves, awfully clam-jawed.
Aye. It would be helpful.
What'd you say your name was?
Fulton.
Falcon?
Fulton, with a T.
Fulton, right. Hang on a left here. And make a con check for me, please.
Even better than last time.
Good set of legs under you there, Fulton. All right. Here. Anders, tear off your badge and hand it to this fellow, will ya? Guy behind him to his left pulls off a badge that he's got attached to his sash and holds it shakingly out to you.
I'll take it before his arms give out.
He seems like he's sweating badly and not going to last the whole patrol. Just take that back to the house. Guardhouse, Yellow Armory. tell them that I sent you. They'll probably let you talk to the little squirt. Just try not to rough him up.
Hi.
Did
Only
not just call a
questions.
dwarf a little squirt, because I would kick him right in the shins.
Well, it's a good thing you aren't here.
Yep.
This is your turn here on the left.
All right.
Keep out of trouble.
Good luck on your patrol.
And him and his column disappear down the street into the docks district.
Gonna stand still, catch my breath for a moment, and look around to see if is there anybody directly nearby.
Beg pardon?
Is there anybody in the streets nearby once they've moved on?
It's a pretty quiet area.
Right. Lindall?
Yes, I'm following you.
Just checking. Right. Moving back to the Yellow Armory. Maybe a bit slower than before. That's a little tiring.
You make your way back to the armory.
Right. Talking to the guards at the front.
Talk to the captain. What's he sent you for?
The dwarven child. Prisoner.
Yeah, come with me. One of them goes into a side passage. Yeah, side passage that goes around the gate. You know, a really tight passage that's meant for getting people in and out, even if the portcullis is closed.
I'll just follow him down. That's a fair amount of AC on Lindall now.
He leads you into the courtyard, into a side passage, down a flight of stairs, across the hall, down a flight of stairs, across the hall, down a flight of stairs, and into what's quite clearly a jail. There's the moaning of people trying to sleep, even while they're restrained at all four limbs from here and there. And leads you off down one hallway and bangs the hilt, not hilt, the scabbard of his sword. There's the word. Bangs the scabbard of his sword against the bars. Boy, up and at him. You got someone who wants to talk to you. I'd show him a bit of respect, unless you want your tongue lashed again. And
I'm gonna blink at that one.
And he disappears back towards the stairs. You hear him. You see him sit down on a chair there, wait for you. The cell is covered in reasonably fresh straw, anyways, and looks like there's a bowl recently emptied of food in the corner. But you can't really see much in there.
Even with
No
dark
motion.
vision?
Yep. Perception?
Keep having to switch maps is all.
Yeah. You looking around though, you eventually spot a lump in the hay that seems to have a pair of eyes at the bottom of it.
I'll drop down to kneel on one knee. I would speak with you, child.
Some of the hay shifts away as the face emerges from under it. Do you know when they're letting us out?
I'm afraid not.
Looks like a dwarven boy of maybe 12 or 15 years.
That would be a child then. Really young child, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Dwarves mature earlier or later?
They mature at the age of 50.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's like 18 for us. So he would be like 6.
Fun.
Well, the good news is we're not going to have any combat because they wouldn't put a non-combatant here if we were going to.
The boy just continues to look terrified, but he also keeps on looking all over you, trying to, you don't know what he's trying to do, maybe size you up.
I'll take my helmet off.
I wonder if he... No, that's a terrible idea, being a half-orc and that's a young dwarf, and yeah.
Yes, I know, but he'd do it.
The boy doesn't look any relieved, but now at least he maintains eye contact. What do you want, mister?
I'm told they found you with the severed finger.
Oh, sorry, you came through, it only pops there.
I'm told they found you with a severed finger around your neck.
Okay. What do you want of it?
May I ask why you were wearing a severed finger around your neck?
It's a lucky charm. I don't need permission to carry an ancestor finger, do I?
No. If any place, it is not my permission you need.
Well, they took it away from me.
Where did you get this ancestor finger? I would imagine it's very special.
From my par.
It is an heirloom, then.
Don't know. My par gave it to me. Said it was lucky.
Who are you, boy? What's your name?
They call me Teb.
And who is your paw?
I call him Pa.
Could you describe him?
What do you want him described for? Not with guards, are you?
I'm not.
You're not going to just go beat him like everyone else, are you?
I'm gonna glance over to the side. How far away is the guard on the chair?
About 40 feet away. If you speak loudly, he could hear you, but he probably can't hear the kid at all.
So speaking lowly, yeah, okay. I have no intentions of beating anyone, child.
Why are you with the priesthood? I know that, Mark. I've seen it in the Street of 1,000.
I have no intention of beating anyone who is not evil beyond redemption, which I do not believe you or your paw may be.
Oh. He doesn't seem to know what to make of that.
I ask of your paw only because I know of another dwarf who may wear things similar to this, and your paw may know where to find him.
Okay. You think they'll let me out?
I'm entirely certain. Have you ever been caught by the guard before?
Only for a nicked apple or maybe a sweet.
Have you heard nothing of how long they're going to hold you?
They haven't told me. They don't usually.
At this point, I'd say go fight Scorism. Mr. Gigantic, intimidating half-orc covered in armor.
Probably a good idea.
It just occurs to me that if out of all the beings I could be talking to, you
I know,
and
it's like one of the
maybe
worst.
the creepy wizard are probably the worst.
This is how it turned out, but
Just tell him you'll be back with a friend and
yeah, I know, but there's more to say. I will most certainly be looking into how long you may be here, Teb. If anything, I spoke with the captain of the guard not long ago. That should give me some ways of finding out.
Okay.
Here. I will return in only a few minutes' time with someone else who may be helpful.
Okay, mister. And he starts burying himself back under the hay.
That poor dwarf child. He's scared out of his mind.
I will put my helmet back on and head over to the guard.
Okay.
I don't feel too bad. He's going to grow up to star in The Sinful Dwarf.
Too funny.
Oh, hold on just a second. Back.
Hurrah.
Front.
Side.
Front,
Top.
bottom.
Inside.
Oh boy.
Right, talking to the guard.
That? I'm
which is down.
scared.
Talking to the guard. He looks up at you as you approach.
What is the typical sentence for being found with something like that child was?
I don't know. If we got a strong stance against any kind of, foul omens around here.
Aye.
Never know what might attract the things from the wilds, from the scar. Well, the kid is on his is on his like third or fourth offense. Don't know what magistrate will think of him.
Third or fourth offense, yes. He mentioned he was picked up for minor thefts before. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I've seen him in here before. Think he stole a basket of apples.
Very well. I will return. I have a dwarf acquaintance in this city that may be more helpful for gathering information from the boy.
All right. Have it your way then. Yeah, I guess I'll walk you back up.
Nods.
Leads you back out. Escorts you to the street. Waves half-heartedly. Goes back to chatting idly with his with the other guards at the front gate.
I'm sure he now has some very odd things to say.
That poor boy. He should learn not to get caught.
Of course, that's what you say.
He should learn that just because he is given something by a father figure does not mean he should accept it.
If you fetch me, I'm not that hard to find. I'm just
Yeah,
like always.
assuming you're nearby.
Yeah, we always keep at least one alleyway over, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Still,
smoking on the pipe.
even in a busy crowd, it would not be terribly hard to find you. There's few dwarves in this city.
Just look for the gap in the crowd.
I hate all of you.
Anyways, that's a good place to break for tonight.
Oh, yeah, it's 6 o'clock already.
Yep.
Goes quick.
We're
Making
sleuthing.
progress. Yes, we are. Sleuthing heavy. Heavy sleuth.
I got Find Me written up. Yay.
So, we have some more information. We definitely have at least one lead on one. Oh, I think we have two leads, but you know what I mean. One person to talk to directly.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, we are not asking directly about our dwarf target yet.
Nope, they avoid that. Like I said, we're not going to just ask for his bloody name. So it'll be the fastest way for him to go, oh, shit.
Yeah, at least Fulton isn't that blunt.
Yeah, that's good. Right, so if that's it for the night, then that was fun. Can't wait to start getting to use some of my gear, though.
Mm-hmm.
By the way,
I
I wanted
will.
to ask what the highest point in the city is. which I'm going to guess is the fucking North Tower.
Yeah.
Well, the highest place you could stand is definitely the top of the watchtower. But the highest ground is actually the hillock where the Baron's castle is situated.
Yeah, that makes some sense. Alright, I was just curious, and there's lots of towers and such, so I need to know what vantage points I have to work with.
Yep. Do remember though that the city is like, yeah,
There's a wall.
It's a full mile in diameter.
I know, I'm not going to shoot from one side of the city to the other. I'm glad there's lots of towers and such.
Gorzen is not super sniper.
No. In fact, nobody with a gun can do that at all. The maximum distance of any gun that exists currently as a siege weapon is
5 range increments, which with all the enchantments and skills possible is a musket, which is 500 feet.
You should have just let me triple reach excruciating deformation.
which might actually be slightly longer.
Yeah, that's about 1,100 feet.
Yep.
Yeah. 400
Actually, double hack
plus
is,
40 per level, yeah.
A double hackbutt is basically a better musket that has this whole stand thing going on, but has an extra 10 feet of range, so you could like feasibly get a little more, but barely anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are not long range weapons. They're more like I'm outside the window and I shoot you in the head.
Yep.
Right
So-
then.
I'll see you all next week.
So yeah, that was fun.
Bye,
Yeah,
Zeus.
that was fun. Night.
Bye-bye.